right, folks, it's 6 o'clock. We'll get started with our regular commission meeting for the month of May and call the meeting to order, please. And Commissioner Alderson's going to do the pledge and Vice Mayor Granberry's going to do the invocation for us. So if everybody please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we begin with prayer, I just want everyone to acknowledge Corey because she's here today. She's going through a lot. We're sorry for the loss of her father. And so we're just going to have a minute of silence for her first, please. Amen. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this meeting today. We ask that you guide us and lead us to be the leaders of Mount Pleasant the way that you would have us to go. We ask that the meeting be prosperous for the city and let all the work that we do stand and be for the city of Mount Pleasant. We ask you to give us the patience to work together and understand one another and to be able to handle complaints and do it in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank y'all, ladies. Roll call, please, ma'am.
Bill White,
Here.
Kathleen Granberry,
Here.
Mike Davis, Willie Alderson,
Here.
Pam Johnston.
Here.
Everyone's present.
All right. Approval and correction of a couple of sets of minutes from the study session of the 13th and the regular meeting of the 18th. Once you've had an opportunity to review, entertain a motion for approval.
Mayor, I have reviewed them and I didn't see any corrections unless somebody else caught them. So I make a motion to pass the study section meetings and the meetings in the minutes from April.
All right, we have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We've got a great thing tonight. We've got a swearing in of a police officer, Jason Cogdell. So, Michael, if you and Jason would come forward, and I'd like to recognize the folks in the back here. Robin, thank you for the phone call,
We got a special guest.
and thank y'all very much.
A little man with a stick.
Cool.
I'm first swearing in. This is my first swearing in. Just repeat after me. I, say your name,
Jason Cogdell,
as a member
as a member
of the Mount Pleasant Police Department,
of Mount Pleasant Police Department,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to uphold the Constitution
to uphold the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
the state of Tennessee,
the state of Tennessee,
and the ordinances
and the ordinances
and the charter of
and the charter of
the city of Mount Pleasant.
the city of Mount Pleasant.
I will faithfully execute
I will faithfully execute
my duties
my duties
in accordance
in accordance
with the general orders
with the general orders
of the Mount Pleasant Police Department
of the Mount Pleasant Police Department
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you.
If they want to take any family pictures out in the lobby, happy to.
Hey, Michael. Michael. I sign in to speak. All right, next we have the mayor's appointment, Board of Zoning Appeals, and I spoke with Douglas Marshall and,
No, that's the next one. BZA.
I'm sorry,
yeah.
BZA. Miss Jackie has got a couple of names she'd like for me to give a ring to, and I'll be happy
We'll put it
to.
back on the agenda and just let me know.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's getting me phone numbers so I can just touch base with her.
And rather than deferring it, I just wait till we have a name and we'll put it back on the agenda if that's okay with everybody.
Yeah. And the Murray County Industrial Development Board, Douglas Marshall's term had expired, and I got with Douglas, and he said he'd be pleased to continue to serve.
And it's a 6-year term, so if we can get a motion.
That's kind of an idle place right now because of what we got going on with the county, so would entertain a motion.
Make a motion to
Like the
add
vote.
Douglas Marshall to the Mount Pleasant Industrial Board. Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Don't worry about it.
Completion and review of any unfinished business? I don't know of any. Monthly report from mayor. The only thing I've got is actually beginning tomorrow. The Arts Festival is going to begin. And Thursday, it starts at 9 in the morning and goes until about 9 that night. Friday, it starts at 9 and goes till 9. The music on the porch, by the way, is on Friday night, not Saturday night, because they moved it to have in conjunction with the Art Festival. Saturday is a full day and all the way till 6 o'clock. So it's going to be a great weekend. It looks like I saw earlier the weather's going to be good, so let's hope we have a great turnout.
Mayor, where would it be?
Huh?
Where would it be?
Right on the square.
The concert is at the Corsi Home on Pleasant.
Yeah.
And just down from Jennifer Graham.
Yep. So that's all I've got. Monthly financial and budget report, please, ma'am.
So I went ahead and emailed everything to y'all on Friday for review. And that's gonna be our new, norm. You should be able to get all the reports, all the budget documents on Friday. That way at least gives you all the weekend to review it. In case of any emergencies or anything, if we are not able to do it, I will definitely communicate that with y'all as well. But everything looks good right now. The new sewer rates are in the system. Sewer and water rates are in the system. This is gonna be the first month month of May is gonna be the first month that actually goes into effect. So we're expecting a lot of call volume, I think I could say it, for the customer service up front. And then the budget we presented during the study session, and if you all have any questions on that when we get to that ordinance, definitely please ask any more questions. I did receive some questions over the weekend and I've responded to all of them. So if you all have any other questions, if we need to have more study sessions or one-on-one meetings, we can do that as well. I'm trying to think what else. Everything else is we're just running right along, and we're starting to get ready to close the books. June is just around the corner. The accountant position that we had advertised in finance, the person starts Monday.
Right.
So she will be here Monday. It'll be her first day. Her name is Chastity Wells. And I guess you could talk a little bit about her. She was working at UT Southern as the assistant to the controller. And before that, she used to work for City of Pulaski. So she's already familiar with the accounting software we use, and she's already familiar with how municipalities work. And then, so the financials look okay. They look good. Definitely looking forward to what our revenues look like in the water and sewer fund after the cost increase.
All right.
You can't start soon enough, right?
Correct. Chastity cannot start soon enough, so.
Any questions for Schiffer?
Good.
Hearing none, I entertain a motion.
Make a motion to accept the report from the financial budget. It's read.
Got a motion, we have a second. Got a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Monthly report from city manager.
So I just wanted to give you some good news. You all voted on a payment in lieu of tax resolution last month for Project X-Men, and that land sale went through the county commission last night at 22 to everybody supported it. So I think we're going to continue to move forward with a very large project that we'll be hearing about soon. So that's very good news, and appreciate your support on that. And I did want to tell you too, USDA came in kind of unannounced, and the mayor happened to be here, and they wanted to make sure that we were aware of two different types of home repair loans that are available. One is something that's available all the time, and the income requirements are pretty low. But then there's another one that's available for anybody that had any damage from that Christmas hard frost, and the income levels are higher. What I was planning on doing is just having this scanned and sent to you guys, but I wanted you to know what it was, and so if anybody's come to you that needs help with home repairs or needs help with anything that happened around Christmas, that you're aware of it. So we'll get all that out to you tomorrow.
Yeah, take a look at this because we all know somebody that qualified. It kind of caught me off guard. I walked out and, hey, I need to talk to you. Just like, fantastic. Usually when USDA comes by, it's not exactly what you want to hear, so. Anyway, next is special reports from other city departments, Barge Design, sewer update.
I think all of you have gotten on that email where we're going to do a tour on May 31st at the sewer plant. Well, I got a request from Vance Hamilton if he could bring his director out one day this month. And I said, well, we're already going to be together on May 31st. So she's going to be there on the 31st at 8 o'clock in the morning. And it'll be a photo op. And you guys will see the progress of the plant out there. We've already have the notice to proceed at Rainy Street. That's moving forward. And a few other, the projects are just closing out. Closing out doesn't happen quickly, but those projects are complete. So
That's great.
What day is that, Kate?
May 31st, I think it's a Wednesday. It's 8 in the morning.
It is.
And if it pours down rain, we will probably reschedule it.
All right. Any other questions for Kate? Yeah. All right. Gas system.
No report on the gas repeating seems to be fine right now.
All right. New business. Ordinance 2023-1110. It's the first reading. An ordinance to amend ordinance 2022-1096. Appropriating the revenues and expenses of operating and maintaining the functions of the city of Mount Pleasant, Tennessee for the fiscal year beginning July the 1st, 2022 and ending June 30th of 23. And this will be the last budget amendment that we will have for the year.
Yes, and Chip was here if you have questions, but behind the ordinance, she kind of had a summary of changes that she made. And if you have any specific questions, we're happy to answer those. This could change slightly between now and second reading, and if it does, obviously we'll let you know what those changes are.
All right, any questions? I think we've all seen it. It's a good piece of work. Thank you. Hearing no questions, entertain a motion.
I make a motion to accept ordinance 2023-1110.
Got a motion, do we have a second? Got a number of seconds, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Ordinance 2023-1111, this is the first reading, an ordinance of the city of Mount Pleasant, Tennessee, adopting the annual budget and tax rate for the year beginning July the 1st of 2023 and ending June 30th of 2024.
And Mayor and Commissioners, I know Shipper sent something out, I think it was last Friday, with all the detail. What's in front of us right now is just the actual ordinance that references it as being an attachment. But the one thing we want to point out is in that the tax rate is specifically set at 169 per 100 of assessed value. So that is what you're approving, no tax increase going forward on that. And as Shipper said with her report, we're happy to sit down with anybody, answer questions, because there's a lot of detail in there that between now and second reading, and it may be tweaked between now and second reading too.
Certainly. I'd just like to say thank you to Shipper. For those of y'all, Shipper's done a heck of a job with this budget. It has been almost seamless. And this for to be your first time to do a city budget versus working with the county, there is difference.
Mm-hmm.
Significant difference. Yeah, significant. So I just want to publicly thank Shipper. We're very fortunate to have her.
Like I told her, she made it simple, I didn't go to the one-on-one because I'm sort of, I guess, like it done as a whole or whatever.
I gave you.
But I can say, like I told her, I said, the girl, I said, you made this, we're sixth grader could figure it out. Yeah, we're very fortunate to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I do have, if we're gonna talk about this,
What's this?
The budget?
the budget.
Sure.
We can. I was going to ask any questions.
Okay. I'm gonna go down the road, some people's not gonna like. But, and it's do with our paving of the city. We're gonna try to pave a road this year, but it's coming out of the gas fund, correct?
Yep.
And everybody wants to pave the streets in Mount Pleasant. And the only way that I can see that we can pave the streets of Mount Pleasant is to have something set aside, whether it's 5, 10, 15, because the penny rate,
16 something.
A little over 16,000, yeah.
and I do know that 5 cents is not gonna cut it.
Mid-80s, yeah.
And I don't know if this commission is willing to do 15 cents, add it to the $1.69, but that money goes directly for paving roads. I'm just throwing that out there.
And when I talked to Mr. Davis, I think we had also hoped that we might have some money in the bond issue to be able to pave some streets. But as you know, the downtown thing is doubled up what we thought it was going to be, and we're still regrouping on what we're going to do there. So it would probably be just a small area that we pave this year using some of the money that we get out of gas.
Because I think the way I figured it up, like me, if you go to on the 380,000, close to 400,000, it's going on 15 cents, it'd be about $140 a year. But I mean, I don't know,
It'd be more than $140.
well, not according to mine, but I mean, I'm I may have misfigured.
For every penny is 16,000.
Right, it's 16,000.
Gonna be more than,
No, I'm saying that on my property tax,
that's what I'm talking about. 15 times 16, more than $10,400.
It's 240,000.
yes, that's what I've got, 240,000.
And you're saying per house.
Per house.
Well, it's already been discussed and everybody took the time to come sit down and
Well, I
And-
apologize for not
and to do
coming.
that,
So
and
I'm still talking, Bill, so if the
That's
if the streets can't be paved, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to figure out a way to get the streets paved, so I'm sorry.
Just something to add to that. I think the general fund right now, I think what we really need to focus on before we can start seeing any savings in that fund is going to be looking at our sanitation. And that's something that's in our ordinance tonight.
that's right.
Till we fix our sanitation, I don't personally, as somebody who's managing the finances for the city and somebody who's, I try to be very conservative. I think we need to fix that before, because then I believe that we will see returns in our general fund where we can actually build our fund balance. And if we build our fund balance, then we can actually fund capital projects from our fund balance, like paving, because paving is part of the general fund. And yes, your taxes should pay for your fire, your police, your roads, your sanitation. But the sanitation right now is overtaking the streets department in a way, because we are functioning at a deficit in that fund.
And it's almost the same amount of money to $240,000.
Exactly.
So if we get our rates up in sanitation.
Rates up,
Yeah.
and we're honestly working every week between the utilities department and the billing department. My billing head today, she spent a good chunk of the time today in utilities trying to line out everything, like where are we lacking, like it's really communication. And when a city this small has communication issues, it's like, we're very small, we shouldn't have this many communication issues, because there's only 80
You're
some
right.
employees in payroll.
Well,
So, I mean, we all know each other, we see each other every day, so if there's a problem, we're just trying to make sure that communication stays open between our departments. So that's just coming from me, like raising taxes till we fix that problem. Of course, this is
We're not
the
gonna get
commission.
anywhere.
You're the commission, you have the right to do
I
that.
apologize for bringing anything.
No, I just feel, as the finance
No, I
person.
apologize. I'm sorry. I won't bring it up again.
No, I just want to focus on fixing that. And then I feel like I would feel justified saying, yes, the budget that we're presenting to you, if we raise taxes, it would actually help us grow our fund versus we need to fix the problem we have in that fund. And that is fixing our sanitation rates and fixing our sanitation communication, and I think you brought it up in one of the commission meetings a couple of months ago, that we may not be collecting we're picking up trash, but we're not billing these people. So we've actually started looking account by account, and we're looking account by account in all of our commercials as well. So we're losing money on commercial and residential. Now, residential doesn't bring the city as much revenue. Commercial is where we're really losing money.
So we're auditing all of them.
We're auditing everything, and
Perfect.
that's hoping that's the way to go. But again, that's just my opinion as somebody who looks at these numbers every day. And I feel like part of my job, and tell me if I'm wrong, part of my job is to give my opinion as what I see.
Absolutely. And then
Yeah,
the
yeah.
commission can do what they
Like,
want.
and
Yeah.
then you,
That's right. Then we can make the decisions
Yeah.
on,
But I
on,
still,
Take it or leave it.
on correct information.
correct,
Yeah.
correct.
I
Not
apologize.
pulled from air.
I apologize, Mayor.
It's all good discussion.
Well, here's something else we need to, and I want everybody, and I want it on record. This is the first time that this commission has ever considered borrowing money from the gas system. And before we start raising taxes or doing anything, Schiffer has done a great job. I asked her to get with the comptroller's office about just exactly what do we have to do this and do this right.
What didn't you think about that last year when we raised it 41 cents?
You know what, Mike? We weren't in the position then to do that.
Very well.
Number one.
Very well. Mike.
Number two, I'm trying to get us in a position financially where we can do that and do it correctly instead of what this commission has done for the last 15 years and not done it right. And that's all I'm trying to do. So we are going to be borrowing $500,000 from the gas department. We've got the payment set up. We know exactly what they're going to be, and it's also in the budget. What we will be doing is a basketball court at Gardenia Park, which this group and the Parks Department has asked for and group has asked for a number of years, and we're finally going to pull that off. We're going to be doing paving of the ball fields over at the Little League Park. We're going to be doing paving Gray Lane. And we are also going to do a study for trying to determine what Howard Field needs to be used for. And we'll get that done, and then we'll have a year under our belt of making ourselves the payments back. So we'll understand financially where we are every single given day and month. And Schiffer will be able to properly report that to us. So I want, for full disclosure, that's what is in this budget.
And obviously, we have to come back to the commission to borrow from the gas.
We
So you'll
do,
be hearing a lot more about that.
but that is in the current budget.
The payment is, yes.
Yes.
The payments in the streets budget and the paperwork that we have to do with the comptroller, it will be done after the budget's approved and everything. So it'll be in the fall that you will see that paperwork, because again, like Kate said, we have to bring it all back to you all.
All right. Any other comments or questions for Schiffer? She has done a magnificent job.
Thank you, Ship.
Well, thank you all.
Entertain a motion for
I'm trying to
approval.
be as transparent as possible, but
I am too. Entertain a motion for approval.
Entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 2023-1111.
Have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Ordinance 2023-1112, an ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Mount Pleasant Municipal Code relating to refuge and trash disposal, which you all should have a copy.
You also have a copy of it, and what we're recommending here is a 20% increase on the residential pickup, and what we're not changing the commercial dumpster rate that much, but what we're changing is the fact that we would charge every time that dumpster is picked up. And I was able to find a 2009 ordinance that's how we operated then. How that got changed along the way, I really don't understand. But we looked at other cities around us and even talked to, I think I mentioned the study session, private haulers. While this is a large increase, it's still very competitive with the market for the dumpsters. So this is where we hope to make up for the deficit that sanitation is causing to the general fund.
We've heard this already. Any questions or comments about? I think the biggest thing that I see is the commercial side.
Definitely. And then again, auditing every account to make sure people are paying, or if they don't have a can and they should have a can, we get them a can and charge them. So we're working on that daily.
Kate, this isn't the final one,
Which one is not the final one?
the one they have in front of them.
What's the difference?
This is just the first reading, so.
It is the first reading, but I don't know.
The final one has a section 2 that addresses section 17105, which takes away the additional rental fee and service fee for everything. So what we've done is consolidated all into that chart. And then there was another section of the ordinance that was inconsistent with putting it all together. So we just put them both in this ordinance. So that was changed also.
Okay, so we have to add that back in, and, I mean, we can do what the commission wants to do. We can get that to you right away. I think just part of the confusion is just the craziness of this agenda and the schedule and what it's been, but
Yeah.
that's the intent of the ordinance. And you just don't have the final version in front of you.
What's the will of the commission?
These rates have not changed, though.
Right.
Right.
It's just that language that you just shared.
Would you like to see it before we, or under just, okay?
No.
Anybody like to see it before we? Okay. Any questions? Entertain a motion.
I make a motion to accept ordinance 2023-1112 as it's written.
Got a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, now we're gonna get into the resolutions. Resolution
Do you
2020.
have ordinance 2023?
Oh, I'm sorry, I checked it off too quick. Ordinance 2023-1113, first reading, an ordinance regarding access fee.
Yes, and I explained to you at the study session what the purpose of this was, to determine how we pay for infrastructure needed for these redevelopments that are in front of us. But we are going to ask you to defer that to Jim. And
Okay.
that was one ordinance we were not able
Awesome.
to get complete.
Because we've got a report coming back to help us with that, correct?
Well, yeah, we've got a lot of the information. We just need to get it. It's a difficult ordinance to write.
Oh, yeah, I bet it is. All right, so we're gonna defer that. Do we need a motion on it, Corey? to
Yes,
defer it?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Entertain a motion to defer ordinance 2023-1113.
I make a motion to defer ordinance 2023-1113.
Got a motion? All right, cool. Do we have a second?
Second.
Got a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, now we're gonna get into resolutions. 2023-15, a resolution assuring match for EDA grant.
Yes, Mayor and Commissioners, I'm assuming that's Alton Health Code that says LAH on the screen.
Can you hear me?
Yes, okay. I just want to make sure because it looks like it says IAH, maybe LAH.
It does. I looked that one.
I think that's L.
Okay, and that we weren't sure if we would need Alton or not, but you passed in February a resolution authorizing us to proceed with that $4 million EDA grant, and in there we put that we would use as the match a municipal bond. And the change that you're seeing in what's in front of you today is we want the ability to do either a municipal bond or a capital outlay, and so we put them both in there. EDA wanted us to have the resolution finalized as soon as we could, and so that the only change is we're adding municipal bond or a capital outlay. And we've been working with Alton on best route, next steps on that, and you'll be hearing more about that in the months to come as well. Anything else, Alton, you want to add?
Just one thing, I did talk to Lucas Blankenship today. It is important that we get the resolution adopted tonight because the application has been formally submitted and it feels relatively certain that we will get the $4 million grant. But we have to, his prognosis is that this application will take about 6 months to process before they issue a notice of a recommendation for award, and we have to have the funds in place by the time they issue the notice of award. So normally an issue, regardless of what we do, either a capital outlay note or a formal bond issue, will take approximately 60 days to execute. And I like to allow some period of time just for contingencies.
Yeah.
So we probably need to start the process in about 3 months in order to ensure that we have the funds in the bank and available, accessible by the time the EDA award is made in 6 months.
Appreciate that. We're really
Yeah, thank
we're just
y'all.
making sure we have a couple options.
And Alton, this resolution as drafted, like amends and supersedes the one that was done in February. That's not going to mess up the fact that the application's already submitted, right?
That's correct. yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay, good. We discussed this pretty much.
It's related to pursue either one, and Kate and Shipra and I have been
What you call the debt.
discussing that
Okay.
last few days.
Working on
And our financial,
The wording.
financial advisors will be here towards the end of this month to sit down and give us detailed information about what he thinks may be our best, safest, and most secure route, whether it's a capital outlay note or a short-term bond issue.
Okay.
Thank you.
any questions. Hearing none, entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve resolution 2023-15.
We got a motion. Do we have a second? Got a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution 2023-16, a resolution approving a gas agreement with Landmark.
And Mayor and Commissioners, I touched on this a bit at the study session in Corey's absence because I let her usually take the lead on this. But the bottom line is they have their third kiln and they're creating a third line of manufacturing the tile. So they need more gas and they have a contract that says we're going to sell them this much gas and now they need more gas. So we need to update our existing contract. And this will be the third time we've amended the contract that was passed in 2016. What else am I missing there?
In our in addendum number 2, we said that this was going to happen. So we had already planned in addendum number 2 that if they came back and asked for additional capacity, that we would add it if we had it. We've checked, we do have the capacity, so we're asking to add it. Also, you remember the letters of credit that they have issued to us to make sure that their fixed prices are guaranteed. They are analyzed every year to make sure that that number is correct. But what it ended up having is 2 different dates that they analyzed it. So we're consolidating it into one review date. So now instead of reviewing it once in August and once in October, we're reviewing it just in October. That should save everybody money and headache trying to figure out.
Now, we are going to require them to up those letters of credit because they are going to be purchasing more gas.
This isn't for the fixed, the letters of credit was for the fixed gas prices only. The price for the 650, I don't know the
Decatherms.
measurement, decatherms that they're adding, that goes back to the original contract price, which is basically the cost of gas plus like contract adders, like the transportation cost.
I
And
get that.
And-
But now, why would we not increase the letters of credit?
Because
Because
they-
they're going to be purchasing more gas.
And they've agreed to by the contract. The
Okay,
letters of credit is usually a protection.
I understand that.
Well, they never had a letter of credit to begin with.
Yeah, they
When we,
do.
when we signed a contract in 2016, it was, this is what the gas is going to cost you.
But now that we've gone to where they can hedge,
right,
Yeah,
they're not
that's
hedging on
different.
these. The letter of credit only goes with
just watch.
the,
You just watch.
well,
There's
they,
two different things going on here.
right.
Yeah.
So
I understand, but you just watch.
the letter of credit that was in place, it goes with addendum 1, which was to set fixed prices for a certain amount of gas for a certain term.
I understand.
And this letter of credit 2 was to go for additional gas for an additional term. This is not hedging. This is based on exactly what the price is. So if the price is a certain amount, we pass that exact price on to Landmark. It's not, it isn't fixed.
Yeah.
So that's why there's no letter of credit for this part.
So we're going to get a letter of credit for the fixed part of which it will increase.
It won't increase.
Oh, I'm sorry, they're going to be using more gas.
But that only, the quantity was set in the fixed prices.
Yeah, but that's going to be a different number as we move forward. Because they're adding a whole new killer and they're going to use more gas,
And that's what
which that fixed, it may be a fixed cost, but their consumption is going up, which is mean their bill is going up.
And that's what we did with addendum number 2.
So when are we gonna hear addendum number 2?
We already did. We did that a year
This is
ago.
addendum number 3.
When are we gonna hear addendum number 2? Because if they add a kill, their consumption is gonna go up about a third.
You've already approved addendum number 2.
And
I
got
don't,
it.
y'all aren't following me. When they get that next kill built out there, their consumption is going to go up. And at that fixed price, their bill is going to go up.
I can only agree with you. And these
I'm just
addendums
saying.
to allow for that.
It's gonna go up about a third.
And we will be billing them for that increase.
I understand, but we've got a letter of credit to cover in case something drastic happened. I think it's 3 months of bills.
For both, we did it, we consolidated them into one, so it was,
I think we need to, my point is, I think we need to really consider this heavily because they're going to be using a third more fuel. I don't care how you slice it. They're adding a kill.
Right, and we've been working on that for over 6 months. We know that. And they're telling us what they need. We had to go get permission from the East Tennessee gas line to get that. And that's exactly why this stuff's in front of you.
yeah. I apologize for getting this to y'all super late, but I think when we all look at all 3 of the addendums together, it makes more sense.
All right, so does this have to be passed tonight? So I got some concerns. I'm not gonna tell you any stories. In course, it's not fair to you, but we tried to rush this through under some very complicated circumstances. And Kate, you've agreed they're gonna use more fuel out there.
Right, and that's why all this is in front of you, because we are aware of that.
Is there,
And I think if we're gonna use more fuel, then we need to be prepared with backup, secondary source of repayment, and that's why we have letters of credit. Because you always want to have a secondary source of repayment. And if
we-
they shut her down, they're not gonna pay the bill. And we're gonna be on the hook. Because we allow them to contract through the city of Mount Pleasant to do that.
right,
Can we defer this, is my question.
we have already requested the gas.
Mhm. We're already
I
committed to
understand,
purchasing
but they
this
have
gas.
not purchased it as yet, and their consumption is going to go up.
Could we pass it with the contingent upon us, Kate reaching a level of comfort with this? My concern is that last month or 2 months ago, Landmark asked for us to ask for this increase. Y'all put in the minutes that yes, we were going to ask for this increase. So we asked the pipeline for the increase. So when we asked them for it and it was awarded, we have already committed
Committed to
it.
that.
I understand
And
that,
then this contract says they pay as they use based on this price.
but we've kept a letter of credit as a secondary source of repayment in case something drastic happened.
I think that's on the fixed pricing.
That's what I said.
That's a separate issue.
No, Corey just said you combined it into one.
It is, but it is the letter of credit is only specific to the prices, the quantities and prices that we fixed. It isn't, when we had this original 2016 contract, the one that we're amending for the 3rd time, there was no letter of credit
Whatever it was, yeah.
at all.
We've got letters of credit today, correct?
Only for those fixed
That's
quantities.
what I keep going back to, but you keep saying you put it into one.
No, the price in the contract is what they will pay.
We can see if we can get a motion, but I'm going to tell you, we have over $1 million in those letter of credits. That means if it's $1 million, it's going to go to $1.5 million. You can, I don't care how you slice it and dice it, they're adding another kill. And they're going to use another third amount of fuel.
Yeah, and they're gonna get billed for that too. But
And I
mean,
understand they're going to get billed for it.
y'all can to do what you want to do. I think the only reason why Corey and I hesitate is the tile plant has, they think that this has been on hold since October.
So the part that I'm our contract price in the addendum, the one we're looking at today. For the period of June 1, 2023 through October 31, 2026, the contract price for the additional 650 MMBTU per day provided to buyer, which is the additional obligation, the amount we're adding, shall be the contract price as stated in the original agreement for sale and purchase of gas that was done in February of 2016. For the avoidance of any doubt, buyer shall pay the then current market area pricing billed to seller for the natural gas from ETNG pipeline, plus the daily transportation costs and contract adder prices. It is not a fixed price. That's
But you have a fixed price.
not
on
for
this.
this 600.
When are we gonna hear the fixed price portion and have the letters of credit to cover it?
There won't be a fixed price.
Yes,
Not on
there
this-
will.
Not on this usage, there won't be. They're paying,
Yeah,
it's not a fixed
what are
price.
we gonna do when they come to hedge this again?
Then
Because they're
And they'll
gonna
be in-
come hedge.
Then that'll be a different agreement that you have to approve.
You just saying that you combine the two into one.
I understand it's confusing.
Look, I don't want the city of Mount Pleasant to be on the hook. I'm just saying it's $1 million. Because I know it's somewhere in that neighborhood is what those letters of credit are sitting there for. This commission can make their own decision. If they want to be on the hook for $1.5 million for a company that could,
I'd hate for that company to know that we're sitting here thinking that they could go.
well, it's reality.
I don't think I would put the city in that position. So that's my personal opinion.
I just think we paid Corey for a reason, and if she thinks that this is what needs to happen, I'll make a motion to accept resolution 2023-16.
Got a second.
do we have the leeway to make changes if Kate feels like we need to before Landmark signs it?
I want to see them.
Yes.
And I want every member to see it because I am not going to put this city on the line for letters of credit so that we got a secondary source of repayment. We don't have real estate. Can't go get it and sell it. You can't go back and get the gas. She's burnt. And I don't want to put this city on the hook for what I think is going to be $1.5 million plus.
And we do have over a $500,000 deposit for their gas as well.
Which is what we do for anybody. Hate to be this way, Tori, I'm sorry, but I'm worried. Because you always have a secondary source of repayment. And right now, we don't have one because we have no collateral. None. Other than, well, we had none.
You have a deposit. And that's the way it's always been
Of
since
500,000.
2016, yeah.
But no, when we went to fixed pricing, we required them to give us a
There's
deposit.
only a portion.
I
that is
know
a fixed
that.
price.
But it's,
So you have a motion. I don't know if there's been a second or not.
Is there any way for us to, because I'm confused. I mean, I trust Corey too.
I
but
trust
also-
Corey, don't
I'm not-
misunderstand me.
But I also understand what you're saying, and we had kind of something on the planning commission where they weren't there when they should have been there to help us with what they were requesting.
Uh-huh.
So I'm a little hesitant because of that, and so I think we all have to do our due diligence on it. And is there some way that, I also understand that we've committed to the gas and everything, is there some way that we could get a little more clarity on this and then have a special meeting, or how does that?
You'd have to have a special call
Yeah.
meeting, or you can just push it off. We've been working with Zach Littrell, our rep for gas, and then we go back and forth with the tile plant to see where we are with the latest versions of the contract. And this is the original contract from 2016 being updated, where it specifically says it's not a fixed price and you'll pay as you use it.
And we
But
can.
we have a fixed price portion.
What happens if we defer this to next month?
You certainly can do that. I just think the tile plant's frustrated with us.
I'm not
But
worried-
we're frustrated with them.
I'm not worried about the tile plant. My concern is that we've already committed to buy the gas,
yeah,
buy
we've
the
committed.
gas, and we don't have them committed to buy it from us.
Which might even be a bigger risk.
So we could defer it last time. So with addendum number 2, what we did is we negotiated it, Kate signed it, and then this commission ratified it when we were done. So if y'all are not comfortable with it, I really truly think that once y'all look at it and have a chance to talk to me, that it will give everybody the comfort level that you're looking for.
Corey, you comfortable with it?
I am, but it's not me, it's not my money. So
No, I'm
y'all
just
need to
asking, you
be.
feel comfortable? Kate, you're comfortable?
Okay,
I'll second the motion.
the fixed rate is what we have the, bonds for, right? I mean,
letters of credit.
Yes.
Letters of credit,
Uh-huh.
okay. But this is not in the fixed rate.
No, and it says right on there, this is not a fixed
Right.
rate, yeah.
But it's
Okay.
all combined into one now. Corey said that, so it's all under
Explain
one.
that again.
So what I meant by that is when we did addendum number 1, what we did is we set a fixed price for a certain amount of gas.
Right.
They picked it was like a pilot like we did, a
Right.
certain amount of gas, they wanted to fix it. So we required them to get a letter of credit for that fixed price. And what we did is we based it off of 3 months of gas, had Zach price it, and we got a letter of credit for that amount, okay?
That's correct.
For only the fixed price portion, not all the gas they were buying, just the fixed price, okay? Then they came back to us and said, we'd like to add another kiln. And so we would like to add an additional quantity to the fixed price. And so we said, okay, you got to do that, but you have to also add on to your letter of credit.
That's correct.
So we got them to issue a different letter of credit.
That's correct.
And we said that that letter of credit matched the 3 months of the additional obligation, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So we did that, but also in addendum number 2, we said, y'all might come back to us and ask for us to increase the overall capacity. Right now, we're required to give them 2,000 whatever amount of gas. And they want 650 more. And we said, all right, if we have that capacity, we will commit to give that to you. All right, so that's what we're doing now. It is not a fixed price. It is based off of the true amount that they're going to be paying for it. There's nothing fixed about that. It is, the only thing that's fixed is the transportation cost, and we even have in there that that will go up at the end of the term, which is the end of 2026. So we are doing a bunch of different things in this one contract, or we've amended it, this will be the 3rd time, to make sure that we are passing on every cost to them. We needed the letter of credit. The first time we ever talked about a letter of credit is when we talked about fixing prices.
Hedged it
But we
for that
only,
very reason.
hedged those
Small amount.
the small amounts. And when I say they combined it into one, we did have 2 letters of credit with 2 different, like, true updates, basically. And so what we did is we put that into one letter of credit, and now we're putting it with one date that we go back and look at it. Because it was the first time that we tried to look at it and reduce it or change it based off of the need of the fixed prices only.
Right.
It was really confusing because they tried to reduce it based off of just one, not on purpose, just it didn't make sense. And so we combined the letters of credit for the fixed price purchases. Because that's where the city said, we're going to buy gas at this price for y'all. So we wanted to be covered in case that price went down, or,
No, if it went up.
okay, if it went up.
Purchasing futures.
Yes,
I guess.
when we were
Yeah.
purchasing the futures, that's what we wanted the protection from. This is the true pass-through of whatever the gas costs they pay. So maybe the answer to this question or this concern is that we need to update the deposit, since the amount that they're buying is going to be more, then
That's my whole point.
then we would update the deposit, but we never did that in the letter of credit.
No.
Okay. So
Yeah, but you got a whole different animal here now. You got consumption getting ready to go up at least a third. And I've heard this killing may be larger than what they're already using. So it could go up more than a third.
It can't go up more than we're purchasing the gas that we've already agreed to purchase.
It will go up because of the fact they're gonna have a third killing online.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna tell me it's not gonna go up.
No, we have a capacity that we can't exceed,
All the gas.
and we've already agreed to hit that capacity.
Y'all,
And that's what Corey's
roll
saying
call,
is-
please, ma'am. This is, and vote on it if you want to, but you're putting this city on the line without any backup whatsoever to pay that bill.
Bill White,
No.
Jacqueline Granberry,
Yeah.
Mike Davis,
Yes.
Willie Alderson,
Yes.
Pam Johnston.
I have to say no. I'm not.
All right, passes 3-2. Good luck. I still want to see the second piece. Because there's going to be, and let's just put this out there. The reason they're moving it here because their fuel price was going up 20% a week because of where they're operating today. And they're coming here for a reason. So their consumption is going to go up.
Or when you get the updated material, would you please send it out to all of us?
Yes, and so I think the motion that passed, we still have the leeway for Kate to adjust it
Yes.
as needed, right?
And the deposit by ordinance is supposed to be 2.5 times their monthly consumption.
Okay.
Can we up the deposit?
Yes, it's supposed to be, it's supposed to be 2.5 times their monthly consumption. And if their consumption is going
And that
up,
would happen immediately.
yeah, once we know, we would have to just let them know what the deposit needs to be.
And that's done through our
That's
regular
easier
gas
said than
ordinance.
done now. Let's not make this, let's be real about dealing with these folks. Now, I want them here, had a conversation about that facility this afternoon. But we don't have any collateral. Resolution passed. G, downtown bid award.
And that is going to be deferred. As you all know, it came in is twice what we thought it was going to be. So we're just taking a look at, see what our options are.
Air Mines Bridge emergency purchase.
We discussed that in the study session. I just want to have it in the minutes of the meeting that we do have a bid for $27,400 and we're moving forward with the emergency purchase so that we can get that road opened up again.
Any questions on that one? We need a motion and a,
I don't think so since we're considering an emergency, but I wanted it in the minutes.
right.
Maybe we do need a motion on downtown bid award to defer that. I didn't notice that we didn't do that.
Make a
Entertain a motion.
motion that we defer the downtown bid award.
Thank you.
Got it. In a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. New position in planning.
And I would like a vote on that. We discussed it in great detail. We have the money in the budget but we don't add positions without the city commission, knowing that the size of our employee population is growing. So if you don't mind, I would like a motion on that.
Make a motion, we go forward with the new position
Planning.
planning.
All right, we got a motion. We have a second.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, Kate, you had 2 things you wanted to put in.
Yes, we had a change order on our sewer projects. You all approved. It was quite a bit of money, over $500,000. Well, once you approved it, it had to go to USDA. USDA has to approve the change order as well. 2.5 months later, we have the approval from USDA. And in that 2.5 months, the price went up $7,000. I may have the authority to do that at that dollar amount, but I'm just asking you to approve a $7,000 increase on the sewer project. And what you have in front of you is 17 pages, but all you need to know is $7,000 more.
Any questions, Kate?
I like that 17 pages.
You don't have to read them all.
Hearing none, entertain a motion.
Make a motion for the sewer projects of $7,000 increase.
Got a motion. We have a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Then, Mayor, the next one that I'd mentioned that we had needed to add is the resolution 2023-17. And I'll carefully try and say this, and Corey, you can add to it. But if we are buying more gas for Landmark, we have an agreement for that. Now we have to have an agreement with Symmetry because we're buying more gas for Symmetry to sell to Landmark. That's 2 separate agreements. And the second one, this resolution 2023-17, is the agreement with Symmetry. That is our gas provider.
Oh, me. We're knowing they're going to use more. We're letting them do it. Okay, entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we make the agreement with Symmetry for more gas.
Yeah, y'all should have that in front of you as well.
Yeah. Resolution 2023-17. This is what Corey was alluding to, that we committed to buying more. So we have to have that with Symmetry as well.
Y'all heard that. We're gonna purchase more gas.
That's second.
All those in favor? No.
No.
Is there any other no? But Vice Mayor White, you're a no as well. Okay.
Pam is. Sounds like it passed. All right, is that all we got on here? Michael, nobody signed up? All right, thank you, sir. Any comments, Vice Mayor? Mike?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Pam? Everybody have a good evening. Entertain a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.